Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. Why is it that some folks seem to attract money like a magnet, while others work their tails off and still stay broke? Is it luck? Is it magic? Nope, it's mindset. And more importantly, it's what they're saying to themselves every single day. You see, your mouth is either making you money or it's making you miss it. No, listen, I'm about to give you 3 simple phrases that can flip your finances like a pancake. I'm not talking about fairy tales or hype. I'm talking about real, proven words that shift how you think, how you move, and how money responds to YOU. If you've ever felt like no matter how hard you work, the money just doesn't stick, this is your wake-up call. Stay with me, because by the end of this speech, you'll have the tools to speak money into your life, into your business, and into your future. Let's get into it. And don't blink. One phrase could be the thing that changes everything. Let me break this down for you. Most people think money is all about hard work, long hours, grinding every single day. And yes, hustle matters. But let me tell you something most people don't want to admit. You could work 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, and still be broke if your words are working against you. That's right. The way you talk, especially to yourself, is either bringing money into your life or pushing it away. You ever notice how people who are constantly saying, "I'm broke, I can't afford that," or "that's too expensive," never seem to move up? It's not a coincidence. That language becomes their reality. Words are seeds. You speak them out loud, and they start growing roots in your life. You keep saying, "I'm struggling," and guess what? You'll stay struggling because your brain will work overtime to prove you right. See, the subconscious mind is always listening. It doesn't filter out sarcasm. It doesn't laugh with you when you make jokes about being broke. It just takes your words as commands. So when you say, "Man, money just disappears as soon as I get it," guess what your subconscious does? It builds habits and patterns that make sure that happens every time. But flip that, flip the script. Start speaking words that invite money, that attract abundance, that say, "I'm ready for wealth." Your brain starts tuning into new frequencies. You see different opportunities. You notice people, places, and ideas that were invisible before. That's not magic. That's focus. That's the power of the mind when it's directed by positive speech. Now, don't get me wrong. This ain't about lying to yourself or pretending like you're rich when you're not. This is about using your words to shift your mindset so your actions start lining up with success. Think about it like this. If your GPS is set to struggle, you're going to keep driving in circles. But when you change the destination in your mind, when you say things like, "I attract money," "I deserve abundance," "I am wealthy in mindset and action," your whole journey starts heading in a new direction. You got to realize your words carry energy. When you speak with doubt, you attract fear. When you speak with power, you attract progress. When you say, "I'm always broke," you close the door on creative thinking. But when you say, "Money is coming to me in unexpected ways," your brain starts finding ways to make that true. You become more alert. You follow through on ideas. You take smarter risks. You start stepping into rooms you used to avoid. That's the shift. You ever been around someone who always says, "I can't win for losing"? You can feel the heaviness, right? It's like they're wearing a cloud. But then you meet someone else who's got problems, sure. But they're still saying, "Something good's about to happen. I don't know how, but I know it's coming." That person is magnetic. That person is growing. That person has opened the door for opportunity just by choosing better words. You don't need perfect grammar or big fancy words to change your life. You just need to be intentional. Start with small shifts. Instead of saying, "I can't afford that," say, "How can I afford that?" Instead of saying, that's too expensive, say, that's worth investing in, I'll get there. These are not just fluffy affirmations. These are verbal steering wheels, guiding your energy and focus to new places. Let's keep it real. You can't just say positive things and sit on the couch all day. Nah, that's not how this works. But when your words start to align with your vision, when your language matches the level of success you want, that's when your actions start leveling up too. You show up differently. You talk differently in meetings. You walk into rooms with more confidence. You take chances you used to shy away from because deep down, you've already told yourself, I'm built for this. I'm worth it. Money belongs in my life. So the question is, what have you been telling yourself? What kind of financial future are your words building right now? You want money to flow like crazy. Start with your mouth. Speak it, believe it, then go live it. Because your words are shaping your wallet, whether you know it or not. Let's talk about one of the most powerful, life-changing phrases you can say out loud and mean it. I deserve to be wealthy. Now, I already know some people feel uncomfortable just hearing that. You might even be sitting there thinking, who am I to say that? Or, isn't that selfish? No, it's not. And that's exactly the problem. Too many people have been taught to feel guilty for wanting more. But let me tell you something. There is absolutely nothing wrong with wanting wealth, and there is nothing wrong with declaring that you deserve it. Think about it. You go out here working hard every day, putting in time, energy, sacrificing sleep, taking care of your family, pushing through challenges, and somehow you've been convinced that just getting by is good enough. That surviving is something to settle for. No, you deserve more than that. But until you start telling yourself you do, your actions won't reflect it. I deserve to be wealthy isn't about being greedy. It's about accepting that you are worthy of abundance. Wealth isn't just about dollar signs. It's about freedom, choice, time, peace of mind. And every person alive deserves that. But only the ones who claim it, who truly believe it, are the ones who start moving in that direction. Let's be real. You can't chase something you think you don't deserve. That's why this phrase is so critical. If deep down you think you're supposed to struggle, you'll block every blessing coming your way. You'll self-sabotage. You'll walk away from good opportunities. You'll undercharge. You'll settle for less. You'll talk yourself out of success. Why? Because your inner voice is whispering, this isn't for you. And if that's the voice you keep feeding, guess what? You'll believe it. But when you wake up every morning and declare, I deserve to be wealthy, something shifts. You stop apologizing for wanting more. You stop playing small. You start showing up like someone who values their time, their skills, their mind, their purpose. You stop settling for crumbs because you know you're made for the feast. Now, I know some of y'all grew up being told that money is evil or that rich people are selfish. Maybe someone told you it's humble to struggle. Listen, being broke isn't humble. Being broke is hard. And there's nothing noble about suffering when you have the power to rise. The truth is, you can be wealthy and generous. You can be rich and kind. In fact, when you have more, you can give more, serve more, do more. And here's the thing, wealth doesn't fall from the sky just because you say a few fancy words. But when you say, I deserve to be wealthy, you give yourself permission to go after it. You start thinking bigger. You start investing in yourself. You make better decisions. You walk away from things that waste your time because now you see yourself differently. You're not just a worker. You're not just surviving. You're building something. You're claiming your place. And let me be crystal clear, deserving wealth doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but it does mean you're not going to quit when it gets hard. Because when you believe you deserve something, you fight for it. You study, you plan, You take risks. You ask better questions. You stop waiting for someone to hand it to you, and you start showing up like someone who's already on their way. Let this phrase be your foundation. Say it even if it feels awkward at first. Say it until your mind believes it. Say it until your actions match it. Say it until people around you notice the difference. Because when you really own this truth, when you stand tall and speak it with your chest, I deserve to be wealthy, becomes more than a sentence. It becomes your new standard. And once that happens, money starts flowing differently. You see things you never saw before. You make moves you never had the confidence to make before. Because now, the old story, the one that said you're not worthy, not good enough, not lucky enough, that story is gone. You've replaced it with power. So if nobody ever told you this before, let me say it loud. You deserve to be wealthy.
Not later, not someday.
Now, but you got to start saying it. You got to start believing it. And then you got to go out and live like it. Let me put you onto something powerful. This next phrase, simple as it sounds, has the potential to unlock doors you didn't even know existed. I want you to say it with me. Money comes to me easily and often. Now, you might hear that and think, that can't be true, or that sounds too good to be real. But let me tell you this. If you want to change your financial life, you've got to stop speaking from your current reality and start speaking from the reality you're building. See, most people only speak what they see. I'm broke. I'm behind on bills. I never have enough. They keep repeating those things like a broken record, not realizing that their words are cementing that struggle into their future. But when you flip the language, when you start saying, money comes to me easily and often, your energy shifts. Your belief system starts getting rewired. Your brain starts looking for ways to make that sentence true. Now, I'm not saying you just chant this and money falls out the sky. That's not what we're doing here. This ain't no lottery ticket. What I'm saying is, when you speak this kind of phrase, you train your mind to think in terms of flow, not fight. Most people have a relationship with money that feels like a fight, always chasing, always stressing, always behind. But when you say, money comes to me easily and often, you start seeing money as something that flows to you, not something you have to constantly run after. Think about people who attract wealth. They don't wake up in panic. They move through the world with expectation. They don't look at every dollar like it's their last. They believe there's always more on the way. And because of that, their behavior matches their belief. They spot opportunities. They take confident action. They're not operating from fear. They're moving from trust. This phrase, money comes to me easily and often, builds that trust within you. Now, let's address the resistance you might feel. You might be thinking, but money doesn't come to me easily. I've had to hustle for every cent. I get it. That's real. But just because something has been true doesn't mean it always has to stay true. Maybe up until now, money's been a struggle. Maybe you've had to grind hard, but that doesn't mean that's the only way it can happen. Sometimes the only reason it's been hard is because no one ever told you it could be different. I'm telling you now, it can be. When you start saying, money comes to me easily and often, you don't just change how you feel, you change how you move. You stop blocking blessings. You stop sabotaging your ideas. You stop settling for scraps when you were built for overflow. You become open to income streams beyond just your job. You start thinking about investments, creativity, business, collaborations, things you may have ignored before because your mindset was locked in survival mode. This phrase also helps you let go of guilt. A lot of people feel guilty about receiving money, especially if it comes in ways that feel too easy. They've been taught that money must come through blood, sweat, and tears. and anything else is a scam or a trap. But listen, ease is not the enemy. Flow is not the enemy. What if the very thing you've been resisting is the thing that's been trying to bless you? You say this phrase not because you're trying to pretend, but because you're choosing to align your energy with abundance instead of anxiety. Money comes to me easily and often is a declaration that you're done struggling for the sake of struggle. You're open now. You're ready now. You're claiming a new way of thinking, one where your effort is matched with reward, where doors open without force, and where money is not your enemy but your ally. When you say this daily, something inside you starts to believe it, and belief turns into behavior. You raise your standards. You stop accepting lowball offers. You speak with confidence. You follow through on that business idea. You ask for the raise. You launch the product. You show up differently because you expect money to come, not as a miracle, but as a response to your energy, your intention, and your new belief system. So say it, not once, not twice, but every day. Money comes to me easily and often. Say it until your brain stops arguing with it. Say it until your life starts showing evidence of it. Because the money you want is out there, but you've got to believe you're the type of person it flows to. And it all starts with the words you speak. The third phrase is short, simple, and yet for so many people, it's the hardest one to truly believe and say from the heart, I am ready to receive. Now, I want you to sit with that for a second. Not, I wish, not, I hope, not maybe one day, but I am ready. Ready means now, ready means open, ready means prepared, and receive means you're not just working for it, not just chasing it, but you're ready to let it come in. That's a whole different level of belief. A lot of people out here say they want success. They say they want more money, more opportunities, a better lifestyle. But the truth, deep down, they're not ready to receive it. Not because they're lazy, not because they don't deserve it, but because they haven't made peace with the idea that they're allowed to win. They haven't cleared the mental blocks that tell them success is for other people, not for them. So even when blessings come knocking, they don't answer the door. You've got to understand, money doesn't just respond to work. It responds to openness. Think about it. If someone tried to give you a gift and you said, no, I don't need that, or I'm not sure I deserve that, they'd stop offering, right? That's exactly how the universe works. Opportunities, wealth, and abundance don't fight to get into closed hands. You have to be ready to receive. When you say, I am ready to receive, you are removing resistance. You're letting go of shame. You're letting go of guilt. You're breaking up with that voice in your head that says, you're not good enough, or you haven't done enough to earn this. Listen, being ready to receive doesn't mean you sit around doing nothing. It means you've aligned your heart, your mind, and your energy to accept what's already making its way to you. How many times have you talked yourself out of something good because it came too easy or felt too fast? How many times have you pushed away help, dismissed compliments, or declined opportunities because you didn't feel ready? That's a mindset problem. That's a block. And as long as you keep rejecting what's trying to come in, you'll keep living like you're stuck, even when abundance is sitting right outside your door. This phrase, I am ready to receive, is your permission slip. It's you telling yourself and the world, I'm not running anymore. I'm not hiding from my potential. I'm not scared of the good things coming to me. It's you saying, I've done the work. I've survived enough storms. I'm open now. I'm available for overflow. It's not arrogant. It's not greedy. It's brave. Because sometimes receiving is harder than giving. Receiving forces you to believe you're worthy. Receiving forces you to be seen. Receiving forces you to let go of old stories. And that can be scary. But that's where the shift happens. When you say, I am ready to receive, you walk differently. You approach conversations with a new level of confidence. You see opportunity, and instead of saying, that's not for me, you say, why not me? You send the message that you're ready to play at a higher level. And here's the wild part. When you truly get into that mindset, you don't chase, you attract. You become someone people want to work with, someone others want to support, someone whose energy says, I can handle this, I can grow with this, I can multiply this. That's the energy money moves toward. That's the energy success follows. Saying this phrase every day, I am ready to receive, creates a quiet confidence inside you. You start to believe that good things are not just possible, but personal. That you're not just watching other people succeed, you're in the game now too. You start applying for jobs you thought were out of reach. You pitch clients with boldness. You say yes to things you used to talk yourself out of, because you're no longer blocking your blessings with fear and doubt. Let me tell you right now, if you've been doing the work, staying consistent, healing, growing, trying, it's your time. But you've got to own that it's your time. Look in the mirror and tell yourself, I am ready to receive. Not in the future, right now. So speak it. Say it like you mean it. Say it like it's already happening. And watch how life starts answering you back. Let's get real for a second. Everybody talks about fear of failure. People act like failure is the big bad wolf. But let me tell you something. Failure isn't the problem. Failure is part of the journey. Failure teaches you. It builds character. You can bounce back from failure. You can learn from it. You can use it as fuel. But doubt is a silent killer. Doubt is sneaky. Doubt will take your dreams and bury them before they ever see the light of day. You know what's worse than falling flat on your face? Never stepping up at all. That's what doubt does. It whispers in your ear, you're not ready. You're not smart enough. What if people laugh at you? What if it doesn't work? And while you're listening to that voice, time is passing, doors are closing, and opportunities are walking right by you. Not because you weren't capable, but because you let doubt sit in the driver's seat. People think success is about talent, about having the right connections, the right background, the perfect strategy. Now, those things help, sure. But the real difference between people who win and people who stay stuck, it's belief. Not fake confidence, not cockiness. Real internal belief. The kind that says, I might not know everything, but I believe I can figure it out. The kind that says, even if I mess up, I'll get back up. The kind that quiets the doubt and says, let's go anyway. Doubt doesn't just show up in loud ways. Sometimes it's in your hesitation. That moment when you don't speak up in a room, even though you had the best idea. That time you didn't apply for the opportunity because you thought you weren't qualified. That business you didn't start. That book you didn't write. That idea you kept pushing off until later. That's all doubt. And that's how dreams die, not with a crash, but with a whisper. The worst part. Doubt doesn't come from strangers. It comes from inside your own head. And if you're not careful, you'll start treating that doubt like truth. You'll treat those fearful thoughts like facts. But here's what you've got to understand: your thoughts are not always reality. Just because your brain says you can't doesn't mean it's right. That voice in your head, it's not always trying to protect you. Sometimes it's trying to keep you small. You've got to start challenging your doubt. You've got to look it in the eye and say, not today. Every time you feel that hesitation, ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if I try? 9 times out of 10, the worst thing isn't nearly as bad as your mind made it out to be. And even if it doesn't go perfectly, you'll be stronger, wiser, and closer to your goal than if you had done nothing at all. People wait their whole lives for a guarantee, a perfect moment when there's zero risk. But let me tell you something, that moment never comes. Doubt is always going to be there. You just have to stop giving it the microphone. Start feeding your belief instead. Start surrounding yourself with people who speak life into you, not fear. Start showing up even when your voice shakes. Start choosing faith over fear. Every successful person you admire, they doubted themselves too. They had moments where they wanted to quit, where they felt unqualified. The difference, they kept going anyway. They didn't let doubt make the decisions. They decided, even if I fail, I'll learn. But I'm not going to fail by default just because I never tried. And here's something deep. Most of your greatness is sitting on the other side of doubt. That version of you that's bold, that's free, that's abundant. They're already inside you, but you've got to go through the doubt to meet them. You don't get to avoid the fear. You push through it. You talk back to it. You walk in the room even when your knees are shaking. So I'll say it plain, doubt will rob you blind if you let it. It'll rob you of money, of peace, of joy, of purpose, but only if you give it the power. Starting today, take the power back. Every time doubt shows up, remind yourself that failure isn't the enemy. Sitting still is. Playing small is. Not trying is. You've got dreams, say them, build them, chase them, speak life into them. But above all, believe in them. Because once you believe, doubt doesn't stand a chance. Let's bring it home now. You've learned the phrases. You've felt the energy. You've started to see the shift. But here's the truth, words alone don't change your life. Repetition, belief, and action do. Saying it once isn't enough. Feeling good for one day isn't enough. This isn't a moment, this is a movement. If you want real change, you've got to commit, not just to the idea, but to the practice. You see, most people say something once or twice, and when they don't see a miracle in 24 hours, they quit. They say, it didn't work. No, it was working. You just didn't stay with it long enough. You didn't repeat it. You didn't let the belief get deep enough. You didn't take the kind of action that backs it up. That's where the real magic lies, in the process. Let me break it down first. You repeat. That's how you rewire your mind. You've been thinking a certain way for years, maybe decades, maybe your whole life. Thoughts like, money is hard to get, or I don't deserve more, or I'll never make it big. That kind of programming doesn't disappear in one day. You have to replace it. And the only way to replace it is with consistent repetition. Say the right things over and over until the wrong things get drowned out. Wake up every day and say, I deserve to be wealthy. Say, money comes to me easily and often. Say, I am ready to receive. Don't wait for proof. Say it until it becomes normal. Say it until your nervous system relaxes around abundance instead of panicking. Repetition is how champions train. It's how confidence is built. You're not brainwashing yourself. You're freeing yourself from the lies you've been fed for too long. Then you believe. This is where most people slip. They repeat the words, but their heart isn't in it. They speak abundance, but still carry doubt like a shadow. Belief is the fuel that gives your words power. If you say it, but don't believe it, the energy is empty. You've got to lean into it, even if it feels weird at first, even if it feels like pretending, because belief doesn't come all at once. It grows, and it grows through trust. You trust by showing up every day. You trust by sticking to the process, even when it's slow. You trust by understanding that transformation takes time. That money, success, and overflow don't fall out of the sky. They rise up through alignment. And belief is what makes alignment possible. It makes you walk taller, speak clearer, negotiate stronger. It makes you treat yourself like someone who's already winning, because inside you are. But here's the final key act. This is the part that separates dreamers from doers. This is where the magic becomes reality. You can say all the right things, believe all the right things, but if you don't move, nothing moves. Action is what activates the energy. When you speak abundance and act like you're still broke, there's a disconnect. The universe doesn't respond to mixed signals. It responds to clear direction. So you say, I deserve wealth, then go apply for that bigger role. You say, money comes to me easily and often, then go build that side hustle, launch that product, pitch that client. You say, I'm ready to receive, then go open the door when opportunity knocks. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for a perfect plan. Start where you are, with what you've got, and watch how the doors start opening. Because when your words, your belief, and your actions are in sync, that's when it gets powerful. That's when you stop chasing money and start attracting it. That's when people notice a shift in you. That's when you wake up and realize you've become the kind of person who makes things happen, not someday, but now. This isn't hype. This is how real change happens, not from one big moment, but from daily commitment, from showing up even when it's hard, from repeating the right thoughts, believing in your own worth, and taking steps forward, even small ones, every single day. So don't just listen to this message and feel good for 5 minutes. Take it, own it, live it. Repeat the words. Believe the truth. Act on the vision, because that is the real magic. And when you start living like that, money won't just flow. It'll chase you.